The CDC also released some new travel guidelines today. Fully vaccinated people can travel within the United States without getting a COVID test or going into quarantine. But as 2 Side's Leanne Stuck reports, Erie County is warning people about the risks of traveling over spring break.
The CDC updated guidance Friday that states fully vaccinated people can travel within the U.S. without getting tested for COVID-19 or going into quarantine after. Previously, the agency cautioned against unnecessary travel, even for vaccinated people. But they updated guidance now that more than 158 million vaccine doses have been administered in the U.S. And people locally are traveling. After New York State lifted quarantine restrictions for domestic travel Thursday, a spokesperson for the NFTA said 4,000 people traveled using the Buffalo Niagara Airport that day.
Comparatively speaking, not what we normally have this time of year, but certainly much better than we had last year at this time during the pandemic. So definitely we've seen a boost in travel, which is very good news for us.
The majority of people are driving. This month, online car rentals at AAA reached their highest level since they began recording in 2010.
As soon as that was announced, we saw the phones ringing off the wall. It was like the floodgates open. A lot of people were saying, okay, this was the one thing holding me back from travel, so where can I go?
However, Erie County Commissioner of Health, Dr. Gail Burstein, said with the rising number of COVID cases and hospitalizations and new contagious COVID variants in the community, she's concerned about spring travel.
So I'm really worried that at the second half of April, we're going to see even increasing numbers of COVID-19. So a surge upon the surge that we're seeing now, just like we experienced after winter break. So I am very concerned about the travel over spring break, especially now that these variant strains are in our community and then in states where people might be traveling for spring break.
UB's chief of infectious disease, Dr. Thomas Russo, agreed, saying if you're not fully vaccinated, this may not be the best time to travel.
But it's critical for people to be cognizant that we're seeing a bump of cases here in Erie County, and we're not quite done with this pandemic yet. And obviously, travel is going to potentially increase your risk of infection depending on how you travel and who you interact with as part of that trip.
Leanne Stock, Channel 2 News.